Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to maintain a simplified financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, well, hello everyone and happy Saturday. I know I said that I would be uploading my weekly check-in with you guys yesterday. However, I was bitten by a little bit of an inspo bug and I spent so much of my day yesterday working on some new items for my shop, which I'm really excited about. I'm actually going to be getting them tweaked and photographed and uploaded and everything in the shop probably in the next week. It's not really time sensitive, but some of them are time sensitive because I have a lot of seasonal items coming. Well, it didn't take long for my kids to interrupt me there. Anyway, I was in the middle of saying that I have some seasonal items coming, and so I want to get them up as soon as possible, especially because now it's like we're into summer, we're going to be going into fall here soon, so you'll be able to take advantage of any fall related items that I created. And I just had so much fun with this like little mini seasonal line that I made that I just ran with it instead of filming and editing up and uploading. But I did get a chance to take advantage of that bug yesterday and then got that out of my system and created some things, and now I'm back to filming. So anyways, I know it's a diversion from the usual schedule, but I did want to go ahead and get this weekly check-in up for you guys, especially because a lot of this features Amazon Prime Day, which I definitely took advantage of. So anyway, jumping into the video, it is my weekly check-in. This is the video, if you happen to be new around here, where I go ahead and reconcile all of my non-cash purchases from the last week. So we do cash stuffing for, I would say, probably about 60% of our budget. 40% of our budget is money that just remains in our checking account and we track it all digitally. But 60% is what we cash stuff for. And anytime I have to make a purchase using my debit card, or if I buy something from online, and it's a category that we cash stuff in, I have to return this money back to the bank so that we're not overdrawing our checking account, and just to kind of remain accountable for all of the money that we spend in each category. So that is the premise of my weekly check-in videos. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and grab my budget binder here. My planner is available either in digital, printable, so you can get a PDF download in my Etsy shop, or I now offer it printed as well. It is sectioned out by quarter. If you are interested in any of the items that you see in my videos, anything that is handmade, I don't sell anything that I'm not making myself, just because I like to be able to guarantee the quality of my products. And anyway, my Etsy shop is always linked below in all of my videos if you happen to be interested in them. So let me just go ahead and jump back to July here. I'm going to get into my expense tracker, which I do also have available. My expense tracking sheets I have available as a printed version, or a printable version rather. It's a PDF download, but I am thinking of offering like a 10-pack of expense trackers that I print myself. I'd be curious if you guys are interested in that. So as a separate and apart from it being in the month budget planner. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and grab out these expense tracking sheets. Whoops. And I'll grab this out as a little divider. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in, and then we will actually get into the expense tracking. Alrighty, so before I get into this, I just wanna apologize in advance if you can hear my kiddos kind of screaming in the background. They're currently playing in our garage with some of our neighbor friends' kiddos, and they're not quiet. So yeah, if you hear some yelling, that's what that is. That's also just life. There's nothing we can do about that. Anyways, yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into it, because I'm sure I'll end up getting chatty with you guys, as I am wont to do, especially in my weekly check-in. So first up, we've got a Starbucks purchase. It's going to come from Dine Out, although we do currently have nothing in our Dine Out envelope. I had plans to stuff it with Etsy and YouTube money, and so this will end up just being subtracted from what I was going to stuff Etsy and YouTube. We don't usually tap into Dine Out like that, and we don't prefer to handle our finances that way, but every now and then this is just the way a purchase runs. Especially, I think, well, there were a lot of Starbucks purchases this week, and that's just because it's like one of those rough weeks where you're just like, I'm going to treat myself to some Starbucks. So that's what happened here. We also treated our kiddos too. I just reloaded my Starbucks app, and so it was $15, and I'll be returning $15 to the bank. Next up, this is like a cool product that I'm excited to talk to you guys about. This is not sponsored. They have not reached out to me. They don't even know that I exist. But many of you know that I eat a strict carnivore diet. I have actually moved over recently to eating just beef. Wow, I just ran out of all of my English in my brain there. I moved over recently to just eating beef, salt, and water. There's some flexibility in there because like Mr. Simple and I will be going out on a date soon, and obviously I'm going to go outside of my diet for that. And when we go on vacation, I will be going outside of my diet for that. But because I have been experiencing some inflammatory episodes recently, I've decided to just get super strict to figure out which specific food source is causing this problem, because it is a food source that's causing this problem for me, which is fine. Anyways, all of that to say that was so rambly. I just recently ran across these guys on Instagram. It's a brand called Groceries. And it was started by two brothers who each have a diagnosed autoimmune condition. One of them has Crohn's disease. One of them has my autoimmune issue, which is juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And they both have experienced incredible healing by switching over to, I don't want to speak for them and say that they eat a carnivore diet, but I'm pretty sure that that's sort of what they've moved over to. But specifically, organ meats. We're going way off on a tangent here, but organ meats are really good for you. They have a really high nutrient content that are especially helpful for people like us who have autoimmune issues and healing your gut and all of those sorts of things. And I am not a fan of liver. Whenever it is incorporated into like ground beef that I'm consuming or something, I can always taste it. I do not enjoy the flavor of it. But they spoke so highly of their own product that I was curious. So what they do, they essentially, I guess, shave the liver super duper thin, and then they dehydrate it, and they only use salt. And they make these little liver crisps that are like a really nice salty snack, but it gets the liver in your body, and obviously you benefit from all of the nutrients therein. Liver is super, super packed with a ton of nutrients that are so, so good for you. So I ordered from them as like a test order and ended up loving it. I do not like liver. I just need to preface this. Like, I know I said that before. I do not like liver. These things I polished off a bag without even thinking about it. They were salty and crispy, and it was just so delicious and so flavorful. I was so blown away by it. So definitely, if you're somebody who is animal-based, or you lean carnivore, or keto or paleo or Whole30 or any of those diets where you're really trying to be conscious of your sugar intake and your carbohydrate intake, I cannot recommend this more highly. I loved them. Full disclosure, my husband was not a fan, but I consider it high praise that somebody like me, who can absolutely taste when liver has been put in any kind of, you can mix it in like in the smallest quantity into ground beef, and I can taste it. I do not enjoy it. I don't think it's pleasant. But these little Groceries like liver crisps, I thought were delicious. And they have a variety. They have bison, elk, and venison, I think. And they have a variety of different organ crisps from those three animals. So I'll go ahead and leave them linked below. I'm going to use a refer a friend code that they gave me just as a general customer. Again, this isn't like sponsored or affiliated with them in any capacity, but it's just like if you tell a friend about us, I don't know, I'll get like I don't know, like a 10% off coupon or something like that if any of you purchase from them. So I will leave that linked below for you if you're interested. But again, cannot recommend it highly enough to you. As a completely unbiased, like I was fully prepared to not enjoy liver crisps, but I liked them quite a bit. So anyways, they are pricey. It was $38.80 for a 2-pack, I think. And I'll be returning $39 to the bank. They do tell you though, so one of their packs is basically enough nutrients from a liver that you'll need in a week. And I guess that comes out to like $2 a day or something like that. So if you are a person with a Starbucks habit, you know how inexpensive $2 a day is. I'm just going to be consuming one bag every other week because I feel like I'm still getting a lot of nutrients and stuff for my diet in general. So that's why I bought another 2-pack. So again, $38.80, I'll be returning $39 to the bank. Next up, this was a big week for back to school. We took advantage of some school supply sales that Target was having, and then obviously like took advantage of Prime Day like a bunch of crazy people. So this was a completely school-related purchase from Target. It was $43.17. And I crossed out the return to bank number here because if any of you recall, we actually took our $250 that was sitting in our back to school envelope and we took it to the bank and put it in our high yield savings account. So we transferred that back over into our checking account, and most of our back to school purchases were pulled from that $250 that we had in there. I will have to return a little bit of back to school money that's currently sitting in the envelope to the bank, but for the most part, all of these numbers were crossed out. Next up, this was a Hers purchase. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. It's from a brand called Bagoose. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. I have purchased one item from them before because they are pricey. This was a dress that I purchased for vacation this year. The total cost of it was $129.58. That included shipping and tax, which is so ridiculous. But they were running a sale, and it's actually this gorgeous yellow dress. I'll go ahead and leave it linked below if you guys are interested because it comes in a bunch of other colors. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen too so that you can see it. I'm so excited to wear it. It's very like vacation-y. I don't wear a lot of color, but I was excited about this yellow because you guys know I've been like on a yellow kick this year, like trying to find something yellow for my wardrobe. And I just think it's like one of those, like I said, I have a dress from their brand already and I love it. It's so comfortable. So I was excited when I saw this one because I was like, well, that's like a pretty like night out to dinner on vacation sort of dress. So I bought it for myself, and Mr. Simple told me to return $129 to the bank. Just a little intro if you're new to my channel. These purchases where we've got change, more often than not, we round it up and I would return $130 to the bank, and my husband would track that change overage. We call it our virtual coin jar because it's money that just kind of hangs out on our checking account and serves as like a mini little buffer or like a miscellaneous expense line item, so to speak. And then every now and then when we have a purchase like this, we will just pull this change from that category. And so you'll see as we move down the line in these purchases here, like sometimes we round up and sometimes we round down, but it is all pulled from that one little miscellaneous virtual coin jar. Next up was another Target purchase. Most of this was back to school stuff. The total amount was $176.15. $6 of it was groceries. $162.15 was back to school. And again, we won't be returning this money to the bank because it was pulled from money that we had in our high yield savings account specifically for back to school functions. $8 of it was from household, and I will be returning that $8 to the bank. Next up was groceries. This was actually on my grocery shopping day. I went grocery shopping, I'm not even kidding you, 4 different stores. I went into Sprouts, I went into Target, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods. Target, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods are my 3 mains. I just check what's on sale that week from those different stores, and I will grab the for sale items. I'll compare like the sale items and the regular cost and all that sort of stuff and pop in and get the cheapest one. And I meant to get, this is hilarious, but I meant to get an English cucumber from, I think it was on sale at Whole Foods. I don't remember. Completely forgot. And Sprouts is closest to me. So I just swung by on my way home after already having been there that day to get the English cucumber. So, and I was out of cash at that point. So it went on my debit card. It was $2.99 and I'll be returning $3 to the bank. Next up on my grocery shopping day, it went a little bit over budget with groceries this week. It'll all come out in the wash. We'll figure it out. But man, this has been rough for groceries. I did so well last month and then this month hit and we've just been going nuts. Anyways, it was $25.52 and I'll be returning $26 to the bank. This is where we're just going to go into Amazon now. This is just like Amazon City. I don't remember if I think it was Prime Day. Anyway, I needed to stock up on some more materials. I was low in certain things. I swear I was like, just when I think I am fine for materials, I end up needing to buy more. So, I mean, it all works out, but still, it's been insane. The total for this, I think I got some laminating sheets this day. It was $50.38 and I'll be returning $51 to the bank. The next day I picked up some cardstock and some vellum and it was $61.51 and I'll be returning $62 to the bank. Next up in the middle of all of that, a Starbucks purchase. This one we're pulling from Family Fun. It was $10 and I'll be returning $10 to the bank. Another one, oh my gosh. Okay, so I think the last time I did a weekly check-in video, I was telling you guys about the lovely owner of Kent County Candles. She is a small business owner out of Delaware, where I am originally from. She makes the most amazing candles, and she makes these amazing diffuser car scent, little mini diffusers for your car. And she just so happened to be running a sale when I was telling you guys about the little diffusers last week. And so I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna go back in and buy a couple more diffusers and like the refill scents. And so that's exactly what I did. I spent $43.86. And this is going to come from car expenses and I'll be returning $44 to the bank. Mr. Simple was initially like kind of irritated that I spent that on like car fresheners essentially. But then he was like, I said, well, we have the money in this in car expenses and this is going to last us a really long time because I bought a couple of them and refill scents. So it's not like, you know, I just like frivolously spent this. Like this is something that will last us a little while and I couldn't not take advantage of a sale, especially because I do love to support a small business and hers in particular because I just think she's fabulous. So anyways, moving right along, Amazon. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I kind of thought this was brilliant marketing on their part. But on Prime Day, they had this like a little section off to the side where they showed, it was like, these are things that you've purchased in the past that have a Prime Day deal attached to it today. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So they had some cleaning supplies that I needed and some shampoo that I buy. And so that's what this was. This was the shampoo. It was $29.40 and I'll be returning $29 to the bank. And this was for 2 bottles of the shampoo that I use. And it's clean shampoo. So I was so excited about that because I was like, you know, shampoo is pricey. And yeah, I was just excited to be able to take advantage of that. And again, I thought that was brilliant marketing on their part. They're like, look, you've bought this before and now it's on a Prime Day deal. And I was like, girl, I'm gonna snap that up. So I did. Next up, again, Amazon, again, back to school stuff. Sorry, we just had a little mini disruption. We ended up getting some things this year that, like, my kids are starting to come out of the age where, okay, maybe that was the last disruption. Anyways, like I was saying, so my kiddos are sort of coming out of the age where they're into like a new character every year, or they want like, you know, a backpack that has, you know, glitter and hearts and Pokemon or Paw Patrol, or you know what I mean? Like how when your kids are teeny, when they're like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, they're sort of into the like changing characters every year, or getting a new backpack every year, or a new lunch bag every year that, you know, is reflective of whatever they're into in that moment. And this year we really encouraged both of them to get some school related items that were more neutral so that it lasts them a while, especially for my son who is about to be 13. So we got them both new backpacks this year. My son's hopefully will last him a few years. And we also got them new lunch bags. The lunch bags are the more important thing because they're very neutral in that they're going to be able to take that. As long as the lunch bag survives, it's going to stand the test of time because it's just a color rather than a character. So we did spend more this year on school supplies and things than we usually would. But again, it encompassed those items that we're hopeful are going to last them longer rather than like changing a new character every year because they're not into Paw Patrol anymore, or they're not into Barbie anymore or whatever. So, although, oh my gosh, I'll be so devastated when my daughter doesn't want to play with Barbies anymore. She still loves them so much, and I love that she loves them. So anyways, that's what a lot of these items were. So we did sort of spend outside of our school budget, but I'll go over how we're handling that as well. This particular Amazon purchase was $32.12. And again, I'm only returning one very small lump sum at the end of this. So I crossed out the return to bank number. More Amazon. These were the cleaning supplies that I took advantage of. So it was $32.45, and I'll be returning $33 to the bank. Oh no, you know what? This wasn't the cleaning supplies. I sort of like on a whim bought a new waffle maker, even though we didn't need a waffle maker, which was stupid. But it was a Cuisinart waffle maker that was originally like $70, and the Prime Day deal was this, $32.45. So I bought it, but then Mr. Simple was like, Veda, like, we don't need it. Just treat it the same exact way like we would replace something else if it broke, not to have it on hand just in case the one that we have breaks. So I'm actually going to be returning this. So I'm not going to return this money to the bank because the Amazon returns hit really quickly. But I did get bit a little bit by that impulse purchase bug, and I'm remedying it. So it's fine. Next up, another Amazon purchase. A good chunk of this was back to school, but we'll get into it. It was $161.20, and it broke down to $23 in grocery, $138.20 in home maintenance. Speaking of appliances, our blender broke like 6 months ago, I want to say. And we just haven't replaced it, but it's sort of like something that we use a lot in our house. So we waited to take advantage of a Prime Day deal, and we did. It was $138.20. And this is one we had the money just sitting in our checking account. So I'm actually only returning $6 from the home maintenance envelope to the bank because, again, this money was just sitting in our checking account. Oh, that was that. So 23 grocery, $138.20 from home maintenance. Next up, we've got a Starbucks purchase. This was for me. I did a little treat myself situation. I've been avoiding coffee because I think coffee is irritating me, but sometimes you just need a cold brew, and that's exactly what I did. This day, it was $10, and I'll be returning $10 to the bank. Here. Can you guys still see? I'm going to just scooch this up a little bit so that we're still in frame. Next up, another Target purchase for $36.63. This one also broke down into a couple different categories. This was just my regular weekly grocery shopping at Target. $6 came from home maintenance. I'll be returning $6 to the bank. $24 came from household. Again, I'll be returning $24 to the bank. And grocery came out to $6.63, and I'll be returning $7 to the bank. Another Amazon purchase. It really was Prime Weekly crazy around here. These were the cleaning supplies that I bought. So this is coming from household. It was $15.14, and I'll be returning $15 to the bank. The last of the Amazon back to school purchases. This was a big one, $120.44. And all told, after the $250 that we had in our high yield savings account, plus the money that we were going to be stuffing this month in back to school, we're just not going to be stuffing anymore. And I just have to return $17 to the bank from our back to school envelope. So all in all, we actually didn't do all that bad, I would say. Last up for the day, this purchase is another hers purchase. I went onto Zara because, there was an influencer who I follow on Instagram, and she was wearing this beautiful baby blue colored top. And I only saw it from behind. I really liked, like, I saw like a picture of her back. And I was like, well, that's such a pretty color. And she didn't source it, but then somebody in the comments said, oh, I think this is the Zara bodysuit. So I went over to Zara and I looked it up and I could not find this bodysuit, but I found another really soft sky blue top that I thought was so beautiful. And so I treated myself to it. And so the total cost came to $29.05. I'll link it below if you guys are interested. But the total cost came to $29.05, including tax and shipping, which irritates me. And I'll be returning $29 to the bank. So now that we've gotten through all of that, I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys back out. We will add up all of the money here that I'm supposed to return to the bank, and then we will get to actually unstuffing the envelopes. All right, here we go. So I am just gonna go ahead and zoom you guys through this part of me adding up all of the return to bank numbers, just so I know what to expect to have at the end of this unstuffing portion. So once I'm done adding all of this up, I'll come back and we'll get into the unstuffing. All right. So at the end of this, we should have $592. We will be a little bit shy because I already know I don't have that grocery money. Oh my goodness, this pen drives me absolutely nuts. These pens, if you see them at Target and you're like, oh, they're so pretty, don't buy them. They're absolutely terrible. They skip ink all the time and it drives me absolutely bonkers. So $592. Okay, there we go. Let's get into this, shall we? I am just gonna jump in. Yeah, I don't have any grocery money in here. Typically what we do is then we just remove that deficit from future stuffings, which is likely what I'll do. So let me just add that up first so I know what my total grocery deficit is gonna be. So 39, 6, 3, 26, 23, 7. Okay, 104. Goodness gracious. We really went over on groceries this month. Oh my goodness. 104. This pen is driving me crazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cross out all of these grocery purchases here. What I'm gonna do is just stuff it less the next couple of weeks, even into even into August, which is absolutely insane to say. I cannot believe we are in August. Well, we're not in August, but we're approaching it very quickly and it's bonkers to me. Groceries. Okay, so that's gonna do it with that. I will stay in high priority though, because we do have some other things in here. So household, so we've got 8. I'm not returning this 33 because we're returning the item. 24 and 15. So that's $47. Let me bring in my cash tray. So $47 that I am returning from household. Oh, please let me have change. Oh no. Okay, no. I'm gonna need to, I did just do that bill condensing not that long ago, so that's why I'm still struggling here and there to make change, but we'll sort it all out. Here, let's see what we can do with home maintenance. So we've got, let's see, let me start from the top. So 6 and 6. Oh, okay. I think that's it. So 12 from home maintenance. Oh, perfect. So 10, 11, and 12, and we're just building our change. So remaining in home maintenance, I've got 10, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So 18 left in home maintenance. Oh my gosh, the way this ink skips is it's gonna make me lose my mind. Okay, Oh, you know what? I know we've got a toiletries, and that will help us with some change too, because toiletries always has change. So just the one purchase for $29. So 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. 25, 6, 7, 28, 29. Okay, perfect. 20. Yay! All right, and remaining in toiletries, we've got 50, 65, 66, and 67. There we go. 67, and now I can finally go in. I know I have change enough here from those household purchases, so let's try that one more time. There we go, 8. We're skipping that 33, 24, and 15. So 47. So we'll put that 50 in there and pull back 3. 1, 2, 3. And that leaves us with 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 in household. Oops. 29. I only update the balance on the very last expense written because there's no use in writing the balance like 100 times. Oh, and I do need to subtract this 33 just so I know not to expect to have that cash at the end of it as well. There we go. And I think that was it for household. Now we'll just go into, since we're still in high priority sinking funds, we'll go into car expenses and pull out that $44. There we go. Oh, I just grabbed that. Oh no. What is that? 5,600 minus 44, 56. Well, I do have that. So 55 and 56. And now in car expenses, we've got 150, 65, 71. So 171 plus our 250 in car expenses. Where did that go? There we go. 171. All right. I think we're done with high priority sinking funds now. Toiletries, household, home maintenance. And we discounted all of those grocery expenses. So the answer is yes. Okay, so now we're gonna go into low priority sinking funds. And I'm pretty sure Dine Out is empty. Yes, so what I'm gonna do, I think there's only the one Dine Out. So I'm gonna do minus 15, so I'll subtract that from the end and then go into my cash stuffing plan for the month and subtract out our Dine Out money. Let me just look at that really quickly. Dine Out, Dine Out, Dine Out. Okay. Oh no, that was the wrong one. I'm probably gonna edit this out. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm gonna go into hers here. So I had 129 plus 10 plus 29, 168. I do not have that in my envelope here. I have like 130, I want to say, but I'll just subtract what I was supposed to stuff. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 125, 26, 27, 28, 29, 130, and 131. So I am shy $37. So minus 37. And what I'm going to do is just again, take away from what I was going to stuff it in the next 2 cash stuffings for the month of July. So again, we don't like to do this from week to week, but if we do, week to week isn't so bad. What we don't like to do is go over budget from month to month. And we really try to be very cognizant of that, just because it really helps overall for controlling spending and just making sure that you're staying in budget. So I understand, like, there are some people out there who are diligent from week to week as well. We don't fuss about it as much, just because it's one of those situations where as long as we're in budget for the month, we are okay with how we're spending from week to week. So I just need to do minus 37 so that I do not stuff for myself more than I'm supposed to. Okay, so since we're still in low priority, let me cross that out really quickly. I'm sorry, it's like they're getting louder and louder as time goes on out there. Family fun. Let me pop into there and grab $10. And now we've got $5, $6, $7, $8 left in family fun. All right, let me see what else. So back to school. Okay, so it looks like we're done in low priority sinking funds. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close up this binder and grab my holiday sinking funds, which is where back to school is. I am just gonna jump to school and grab the $17 that we have to return from here. 10, 15, 16, 17. And then we're just not going to stuff it for the rest of the month, but we're good. And we only went over our budget $60. And so we just stuffed our emergency fund $60 less this month. But again, we knew we were going to go over a little bit just because of the way that we're kind of planning out the money that we spent on school supplies this year and certain things that we won't need to repurchase next year. So it kind of made sense for us to do it that way. I understand, like, everybody's going to handle their budget differently and you may not do that, but we're pretty comfortable with making decisions like that from time to time and like pinching and pulling from certain areas of our budget in order to accommodate purchases that feel necessary in the moment. And because it all just kind of sorts itself out in the long run. Last up is actually a business expense, but if you've been around here for long enough this month, especially, you know that I'm still sort of, because I needed to buy so many materials for my Etsy shop relaunch in June. I am just not, I'm going to be stuffing significantly less when I go to do my Etsy and YouTube cash stuffings to compensate for the materials that I'm making the purchases of. It just worked out that way. I had to front load a lot of the cost of certain things that still haven't like fully paid off yet. But it was all cash funded. So it just depletes your envelopes when you're upfront costing or when you're upfront paying for certain items that take a long time to sell. So that was what happened for me for my Etsy and YouTube materials this year or this month. But it's all like leveling out now. So we have 51 plus 62 and that's 113. So let me just go ahead and, oh gosh, this pen. Okay, so we started off with 592 to return. 104 minus 33 minus 113 minus 15 minus 37. So actually now sitting here, I should have $290 to return to the bank, and everything else will just sort itself out over the next 2 weeks. So here we go. 100, 50, 70, 90, 210, 230, 40, 50, 60, 75, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 290. So that is what we are returning today from the original planned amount of 592. But again, This is not us running a deficit from month to month. This is just from week to week. It will all sort itself out by the time the end of the month rolls around, I promise. And if this was confusing to you, I apologize, but I promise you that as you watch these different content creators in the budgeting community, this stuff sort of all eventually makes sense. It just takes time for you to sort out how you would do it your way anyway, because our brains all operate differently when it comes to math and budgeting and all of those sorts of things. And you have different goals and different plans and different strengths and weaknesses. Like, we don't mind carrying these deficits from week to week because we're very disciplined with our spending from month to month. So we don't mind carrying a deficit from week to week because we don't let it go into the next month. So know what your strengths are, know what your weaknesses are as you're going through this budgeting journey. I don't really like the word journey. I feel like it's overused. But as you go through your own budgeting plan and your own system, you'll sort of figure out what works for you based on your own experience, what you're like with money, and what sort of works for you and your brain as well. So anyways, all of that to say that I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, I would love it so much if you would give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. I'm going to be back with you guys again on Monday with our regular cash stuffing, but I'm also going to do a little bonus content next Wednesday to showcase the items that I am going to have coming to my shop very soon here. Just to give you a little heads up, I've got some dashboards, I've got some savings challenges, which I have not really been adding to my shop a lot, but I'm definitely going to be ramping up the production of now that I have a little bit more time afforded to me, because I'm finally, done the crazy amount of orders that all came in at the same time when I did my June relaunch. So now I have a little bit more time to devote to. How apropos that I was interrupted in the last 30 seconds of my video. I'm going to be back with you on Monday with my cash stuffing, like I said, but I am going to be showcasing some of my new items that are going to be coming in to my shop in a little bonus video for you guys on Wednesday. So I hope you're looking forward to that content next week. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye, everyone.